100 hours a week, $30,000 a year, less than $9 an hour. I was burnt out. I was in my 20s, and all I wanted to do was become an entrepreneur. Having been an entrepreneur for the last 10 years, it's kind of easy to remember all the mistakes that kind of stick out in your mind. And in my 20s, I made quite a few mistakes as an entrepreneur. And maybe you're watching this right now, maybe you're in your 20s, you're a young guy, you are starting a SaaS company, or maybe you already have a SaaS company. I want to share a little bit of wisdom, share something to my younger self, my younger 20-year-old self watching this right now, of all the things I regret in business and all the mistakes I made in business. Let's go over to the teleprompter, and I'll tell you right now. So, with that little intro right there, let's get into the video. Here I was, grinding myself to death, making less than minimum wage, thinking I was building something real. I wasn't building, I was hiding. And today, I'm going to share exactly what I wish someone had told me in my 20s. I crossed the 32-year mark, so I'm hoping to share a little bit of wisdom to my younger self. So the game has always been simple. You're either making money or you're making excuses. And I was making a lot of excuses. And let me tell you, those excuses were beautiful. They were sophisticated. They sounded like strategy. But at the end of the day, excuses don't pay bills. Let's start first with my addictions in the business world, learning. Beef up your skills, learn new strategies. But I became addicted, to be honest. Just one more course, just one more book, just one more YouTube video. Maybe you're watching this and you feel like you're in the same hole. I was reading 3 business books a week. I was listening to podcasts every single day, watching YouTube business videos all the time. The greatest drug for entrepreneurs isn't caffeine, it's information. Here's what nobody tells you. Being all over the place in your 20s, that's not what I regret. That chaos is your superpower. But getting addicted to learning instead of doing, that was the real killer for me. Always in my head, it was, if I just learn one more thing, then I'll be ready. Or I thought, I can't start this project unless I master and know everything there is to know before diving in. Knowledge without action isn't power, it's procrastination. And I was the king of procrastination, a master of preparation, a black belt in avoiding the real actual work. Let me paint you a picture. While other entrepreneurs were making their first dollar, I was highlighting passages in books about making dollars. While they were learning from real customers, I was learning about theoretical case studies. My next regret was choosing my co-founders. Before I graduated college, I churned through 2 sets of different partners. Same mistake, different packaging. The first co-founder, my partner saw graduation as the finish line. He thought once college was over that we can stop playing pretend and not be real entrepreneurs. But for me, I was building this business as a lifestyle, so we part ways. My second partnership was still in college, and I had the same hopes and dreams with them. Our first major project was our independent film that we filmed and financed. I thought we were building a studio, a production company, and they just wanted that one movie made for themselves. So it wasn't a partnership, I was more just a hired producer. Here's what I learned though. A partnership isn't about shared work, it's about a shared vision. And most people's vision ends at the next paycheck. So the real question is not can we work together, but are we running the same race? Most co-founders aren't. They're just borrowing each other's runway, and they're borrowing your runway. So when these partnerships fail, it's not just about the lost time or the lost money, it's about the lost momentum. Every failed partnership is a lesson in disguise, but only if you're honest enough to see it. My third biggest regret in my 20s, I'm calling the ego tax. I'm the smartest guy in the room. That was the 5 words that cost me everything. Every film set that I walked on, every project that I was a part of, every opportunity, every business engagement. But here's the truth about being the smartest person in the room. You end up in a very small room alone. The real power is making others feel like the smartest person in the room. That's when doors start opening up. That's when the magic really happens. Your ego isn't just expensive, it's radioactive. It contaminates everything it touches, every relationship, every opportunity, every potential breakthrough, and it keeps your mind small and boxed in, and you don't even know it until 10 years later. I scoffed at plenty of potentially awesome collaborations because I saw them as either competitors or they were just someone who was beneath me or just their skills weren't good enough for me. Don't make that same mistake. The next one, perfectionism and flattering my designer persona. 1,000 hours. That's not a typo. 1,000 hours in Webflow and Squarespace, making my portfolio absolutely perfect. I would design avant-garde invoices and send it to clients, even though I didn't have that many clients. In my mind, I was crafting the perfect brand. And do you want to know what generates more revenue than a perfectly designed website? An ugly Google form that actually gets used. Here's the math. Perfect website, $0. Ugly landing page with actual sales, infinite ROI. Your brand isn't your logo. It's what you deliver, period. In fact, I killed my logo years ago. And let me tell you something about perfection. It's a moving target. While you're chasing perfectionism, your competition is chasing customers. My next regret is obsessing over tools and gears. Being in the tech world, you and I probably share a genuine love of gear, cameras, gadgets, and the latest and greatest stuff. Being in the video world, I love studying cameras. I would watch every single camera review. I was on B&H Photo all the time on Amazon. But here's the thing. I never actually bought those cameras. I never actually went and owned the gear. I never pulled the trigger on this stuff. Instead, I became a professional window shopper. I was a spec sheet expert, a master of comparing things that I would never actually own. While real filmmakers out there were filming with whatever cameras they could get their hands on, iPhones, crappy Craigslist cameras, and instead I was at home, not doing any projects, dreaming about a $50,000 Red camera. The hard truth that I've learned is the best camera is the one that makes you money. The best tool or the best software is the one that pays for itself. Everything else is just an expensive decoration. And you know what's worse than cheap gear? Imaginary gear. The tools or apps that you spend hours researching but never actually buy. The tools you convince yourself that you need before you can actually start doing the work and making money and getting customers. My next regret is following the wrong business metric. Your first 2 years in business, the only 3 numbers that matter: number of customers, number of problems that you solve, and the number of leads that you're bringing in. And I said the first 2 years of business, but that could probably be for the rest of your life in business. Everything else is comfort food for your ego. And again, your ego, it's the most expensive employee that you have, so work on it, especially in your 20s. You are just overinflated with your ego, so knock it down a little bit. But these aren't just metrics. They are mirrors to your business. They show you exactly where you stand in the market, not where you think you stand, not where you want to stand, where you actually stand. So, given all my regrets that I just listed, here's the game plan for you if you're in your 20s and you want to avoid all of these mistakes. So here's what you're going to do. Delete your perfect business plan and replace it with one question. Who can I help today and how can I get paid for it? Reach out to 3 entrepreneurs that you're jealous of on social media. Don't pitch them. Don't ask them for anything. Just genuinely connect with them. Next is to stop buying business books for the next 60 days. And no more online courses either. I want you to talk to 30 potential customers instead and ask them about their problems. The simple math that you need to focus on is 1 customer is greater than 1,000 followers, 1 sale is greater than 100 likes, and 1 lead into your business is better than 1,000 views on YouTube, Instagram, or wherever. This isn't just a challenge, it's an intervention. Your future self will thank you for it. Your 30-year-old self will thank you for it too. So speaking of your 30-year-old self, I want you to imagine this. 10 years from now, you won't regret these mistakes because you avoided all of these entirely. But you will regret the moves that you were too scared to make, the ego, the relationships your ego destroyed, the sales that you were too sophisticated to chase. So stop researching tools that you can't afford, stop designing websites that nobody will see, stop thinking you're the smartest person in the room, and start selling, start collaborating, start doing. The real secret, make it messy, hit launch. Make 1 small action today and then 1 tomorrow. Your business isn't a Hollywood movie. It's not about looking good. It's about making money. And if you've been building your app and you want some outside perspective, you can chat with me one-on-one. My link is down in the description. Or if you're nervous about launching your app, I want you to watch this video right here.